Hello, this is Ashee from Crafting with Ashee and welcome to this paper crafting card making tutorial. This is the lovely card we're making today featuring the charming duck pond stamp and die set. Isn't it gorgeous? This little mother duck with all her little ducklings. It's so cute and I love this card. It's perfect for this time of year because in the beck, just in one of the villages near us, there are little ducklings and mother ducks and it's just so cute. And I love watching nature doing what nature intended itself to do. So here we've got a card base, and our card base is Pebble Path. This is a standard A6 card base. There's an A4 sheet cut in half and then folded in half. Then I've got a piece of basic white, which measures 14.35 by 10 centimetres, and I've got two of those. And I've got one the insert and one here, and then I've got a piece here of designer series paper, and you could just see I showed you the dies that I'm used to cut out the central portion with. And now we're going to do some ink blending, and I'm going to be using my Pool Party ink, and we're just going to focus this on the centre of the cardstock where you can see that window. And as I said, I cut the window out using the charming duck pond die that I showed you earlier. And the colour here I've got is Mossy Meadow, and this is just one of the designer series papers from the family stacks, as I call them. You could use this one. I've used Garden Green before. You could use Lemon Lime Twist, whatever green you want. You could use. I didn't use Granny Apple Green because it's going to be the colour I'm going to use for some of the foliage later on, and I wanted the two greens to pop against each other. So you can see here I'm just putting some blue down towards the bottom half of that circle, just so it sort of gives the impression of maybe some water, etc. And I keep on having a look how it looks with my little window, and there you go, I'm happy with that. And I should have said my window measures the same, that piece of paper measures the same as the rest, as a basic white. Now you can see I've done all the die cutting already, and it's using the same dies, and we're going to do some assembling here. So the colours I've used here are Peach Pie, Grey Granite and Granny Apple Green, and I'm just doing some assembly. So I cut this twice, one out of Granny Apple Green and one out of Peach Pie, and I've just snipped off the tops of the Peach Pie so that I can add them to the Granny Apple Green, so we have a little variation in colour. And I'm just using my Take Your Pick tool here, which is usually very helpful. I just got to get these in the right orientation because there is a top and a bottom, and you can see here I'm just making sure I've got some sticky at the bottom of my Take Your Pick tool. And there we go. So there we have our little reeds, or whatever you want to call them, made up. And so here we can see our duck. So I've got the main duck in Grey Granite, and then I've got this piece here in Peach Pie. Now you can see I'm fighting my Tombow. So you should be able to see exactly where it fits in. It just fits nicely in there. There's a little indent to show you. And now I'm just looking for the tiny piece here for the beak. That's why I put everything into these tiny little grey tubs that I got from the B&M stores, because it just helps to corral everything, and so I don't lose any of those really small pieces. So that's that one duck done. So now we're going to work on our little ducklings. Now I cut this out of the die twice, so I have two little ducklings and they're opposites in colour. Okay, so you can see here the two bits I cut out, and then I'm going to take this piece here and I'm just going to smush it in the glue and layer it over the other piece. And there we've got one, and then we've got the other just the opposite way. I just thought for some little variation in colour, and I'm thinking about whether I put that in there, and then I decide against it. Okay, so those are the ducklings done. So just wipe that glue away, and that's all the assembling of our little pieces we need to do. So now we can actually put together our little scene here. So I'm going to put some glue on the back of my window piece here. I'm fighting my glue again. It's towards the end of its there we go. It's towards the end of its the end of the glue, and that's why it was doing that. So I had to let it dry. Well, I didn't let it dry to go and find a new glue, which is why it looks like there was no glue there. And now we're going to stick this on the front of our grey crown, our pebbled path, I should say. Card base. There we go. Lovely jubbly. Right, let's bring in all our bits to put together our scene. And there you can see that's the Charming Duck Pond stamp set. We're actually going to stamp our little sentiment first. And I'm going to use my grid paper to line everything up. And we're going to stamp this in, I think it's Pebbled Path, if I remember rightly. No, Basic Grey. I'm going to stamp it in Basic Grey. And could have done Pebbled Path as well, but Basic Grey looks really nice and says, have a lovely day. Give everything out of the way. Right, now we are just going to start to assemble. So I'm going to use my tweezers and hope that I can try and keep my fingers as out of the glue for as long as possible. So here we're going to put down our little pieces of reeds, and I'm sort of just keeping them to the edge, very much like you see in the window, but obviously they're not going to exactly match what's in the window. So we're going to have that one there. So we've got one either side. And then we're going to put down these lily pads. And I'm just sort of following what I did before. So it looks like I've just putting them down here and there. I'm just following what I've already worked out that I liked from before, from my previous card. But it does take a while trying to audition, as someone said to me, different pieces, looking at what looks best where. So do take your time to sort of, you know, lay everything out and see that you're happy with the design. So now I'm just adding a little flowers to my lilies. And then I'm going to go in now with my, I think I'm going to pop up, yes, I'm going to pop up my ducklings so that they just give it a little bit of dimension to them so that they stand out from the rest of the project. And we're going to do that with the baby ones as well. There we go, baby dimensionals on our baby ducklings, or our baby duckies. Right, let's take the backings off this. So I hope you've enjoyed this card. If you have, I'd be grateful if you could give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I should also say, if you want any more information about the card, the supply list, the measurements, etc., you'll find all of that good stuff on the blog post, and you can find that listed and linked below. You'll also find all my social media links as well, so if you've made some cards using this lovely die set, I'd love for you to tag me in or upload it to my Facebook group. So finishing touches here, I have some of these dots. I can't remember which of these are the swirl dots. And I'm just going to add a few here and there around my card. You could add rhinestones, will look just as cute. Whatever you really want to do. Alright, so there are our cards. I hope you enjoyed the video. As I said, this card making paper crafting tutorial featuring the Charming Duck Pond stamp and die set from Stampin' Up. And until next time, enjoy being creative. Bye.